Right. Over to you, Emma Cook, if you're ready, the tiny
I'm
turner.
Ready. Let's go. Right, good morning, everybody. So, have we got any wood turners here? Yes. Or people who just like wood? Yes, you are my people. Wonderful. Right, so this morning, this normally takes me an hour. I have 30 minutes, so let's go. So we've got a piece of wood in the lathe. This is a piece of ash. So we're just going to clean up the outside a little bit with a little bowl gouge, and then we are going to shape the outside of our chameleon bowl. So if you've got any questions, guys, just give Ollie a wave and he'll come over with a mic and we'll do our best to get them answered. So a nice little cleaning cut, and then we're going to bring the tool rest round to the underneath of our bowl and clean this edge up as well. And we're going to put a little foot on this bowl so that we can turn it round in our chuck. So we'll just balance that first, change to a parting tool. And I'm just going to clean up the underneath of our little foot. There we go. So is everybody enjoying the show so far? Have we got any people that have been here yesterday as well? Yeah? Awesome. It is a really, really good fun show, is this. Really enjoyed it this year. Been doing some airbrushing and all sorts of things. Right, little bit of decoration on the bottom of our piece. And then let's start to shape our bowl. So just start to put some shape on there. Come round to the side and put some shape towards the top of it. Just start blending that round, making it a really nice shape. And this bowl's going to be undercut slightly. Finish the shape at the bottom. So, anybody any ideas why this is called a chameleon bowl? I know that Ollie was asking. Anyone any ideas? I'm afraid the guys that were sat on the side were wrong. It's not going to be made into an actual chameleon, as in the animal. I have not got time in 30 minutes to do that, although I do wood carve as well as wood turn. There we go. That's a bit better. So we are going to be using some colours on this bowl that are chameleon colours. They change colour, a little bit like colour flip paints that you see on cars. So we're going to put a little bit of texture on this bowl so that it will help show it off. So the outside is almost finished, just getting a nice shape on there, and I'm going to give it a quick sand. And we are going to lose a little bit of height on this because it's a little bit too tall, is this blank. That'll do. Okay, so we're going to sand that up so that the outside is nice and smooth. Get rid of our tool marks. Normally, guys, when you are doing stuff like this, you do want to have a dust mask on. We don't want to be breathing this stuff in normally. It can make you poorly in time. There we go. Okay, so we're 5 minutes in. This is not bad. We're 5 minutes in. This is speed turning. And let's put some finish on. I think we've got enough time to do that so that it's properly done. So I'm just going to use some kitchen towel and a product called True Grit, which is an abrasive paste wax. So just rub that on the outside. We've got a few sanding marks still on there, but we are short on time. We're short on time, guys, so we've got to make this work in 30 minutes. So we'll polish that up, and then we'll put some proper wax on it as well to make it really nice and shiny. So all these products you put on the timber whilst it is stationary, and then you polish it up with it moving. So that is our first layer. And then our next layer is something called True Gloss. So this is just a nice wax paste. And we're going to do the same. Then we've got one last thing to turn on the outside before we turn it around. We're going to put a couple of little grooves in here, which is going to help when we start putting the paint and the colour on. All right. So we'll get the speed back up. The top of the bowl is going to be around that area. I'm going to take some of that down because it is a little bit too long. Just put a little groove there. And one about here. Now I mentioned that I'm a wood carver as well as a turner. So usually I would actually carve the texture on here, but we haven't got time for that today. So we're going to use something pretty cool. This is a little texturing tool. It looks like a little cog, and that wheel is going to spin round, and we're going to put some texture on the middle with that. So that is the plan. So we need to turn the speed right down for this. We don't want it flying around at very fast speeds like 3,000 RPM. We want it about 600 or 700. And we're just going to draw the tool across the surface, and we want to try and keep between those lines, and that should put some cross hatching on there. Let's go the other way. So we've got our do we want cross hatching? Not on this wood, actually. Ash is not very good for that, so I just want to go through that again. Just add a little bit more interest. So these tools you've got to press pretty hard. That's better. There, we've got some texture. So you've got to press pretty hard on them because they compress the grain. So we've got the outside of this is now done. So we're doing okay time-wise. Let's turn this round. So the inside normally takes a little bit longer because we've got lots of wood to remove. So we want to make sure this is nice and tight in the chuck. Okay. Let's get that speed back up. Right, so we're going to take this down to the correct height. Which is about there. And then we're going to start scooping out all the wood. So normally on demos, I don't turn this fast, but this is about as quick as I turn more or less in my workshop. So we're just getting the wall thickness about right. And then let's move that tool rest in a little bit actually. Drop that down. So we've got really big tool movements happening on this. We're really kind of scooping this out because it's a nice and deep bowl. So I'm using my arms, I'm using my body to move the tool around. I'm not just kind of standing stationary. You've really got to move with it. Let's see where we're at now. So we just want to feel our thickness, going to go a little bit deeper, but we need a fresh tool edge. So I'm just going to turn this tool round. It's got a double end to it. So it means I don't have to run off and try and sharpen this in the short time that we've got to actually turn this. So a little bit deeper. Let's shape this edge while we're here. Just going to round that over a little bit, guys. Okay. That's much better. Nice and sharp tool. So the worst bit is right in the middle. We don't want to pull any of the wood out of the center and make a hole in it. So you just got to slow your tool down a little bit as we're getting into the middle. There we go. Okay. Oh, that needs to go. Stop and see what that is like. Yep, that'll do. We've got a decent middle out of there, so let's give that another sand as well. Ooh, I've made a mess. Just turning the speed down a little bit for sanding, otherwise it can get really hot and crack the wood. Now this kind of wood is pretty resistant to it, but still, we don't want to push it. Okay. Let's just try and get rid of some of that dust. So we're going to put some finish on the inside as well, and then we're going to start putting some colour on this. We've got loads of time left. That went a lot better than expected. So same again, we've got some true grit that we're putting on the inside. That's going to finish off the sanding process and lay down a kind of waxy base. Now, you guys that are already wood turners might notice that I'm not using sanding sealer. The only reason I'm not using sanding sealer is because it is a time-consuming thing to use under the constraints that we have right now, because you've got to wait for it to dry. So I'm kind of jumping straight onto this finish, but this stuff works a lot better on sanding sealer. Any timber that you use, if you put in what we call a top finish on, a non-penetrative finish, so a wax, something that sits on the surface, then you want to put sanding sealer. Same if you're using lacquers. If you're using products like Odie's oil, that goes straight onto the wood. You don't put your sanding sealer on there. Any kind of oil or anything that actually penetrates the wood, we want it to go straight onto the natural wood. So we're using a wax. We're using the True Gloss wax on top of the True Grit, both of which are made in Yorkshire, which is where I'm from. Woo! Yorkshire for the win. Let's put that on there. And that'll give us a really nice polished surface. Okay. So most waxers do work a little bit better if you leave them for 5-10 minutes just to cure slightly before we actually buff them. That's not looking bad. Right, so that is the turning done. Next we are going to colour this. So we're going to use something called gesso, and we're going to paint this onto our texture. So it's just like a black paint is this that's just got a little bit of a tooth to it, so it will allow you to put another finish over the top nice and easily. Usually it's used by painters to cover canvases, but we're going to put it onto our wood today. So those two little V-grooves now are helping me out, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really that good at colouring inside the lines. So this is helping me, and it's catching all my mistakes. And all this paint is going to do is it's just going to act as a background. So it's really important that we actually put this on for these chameleon colours, because they are reflective. So the black background really helps them to shine out. There we go. So this little colouring system that I'm showing you today is one that I kind of developed myself. So it is based around gold leaf and metal leaf. So has anybody done any gilding sat in front of us today? Yeah? No? Okay. So gilding is a really cool process of actually putting, it used to be just real gold leaf, so really, really thin gold leaf onto surfaces, and it's been used for centuries. And you use a product called size, which is the name of a glue that's quite a unique glue. It basically goes sticky when it's dry. So most glues are sticky, become sticky as they are drying, but this one is sticky after it is dry, which is really important. And that is what we are going to use to stick these colours on with, because it's not a paint, it's not mixed in with anything. It is literally some dry mica pigments or mica flakes that have been coated to make them change colour. They are really, really awesome. So that is what it is based upon. So we're just getting these, all this paint right into all our texture. It's really important that you get the paint completely covering your texture, nice and spread out. And it's great because it's really warm in here, so the paint is drying really quickly. So that means we can keep moving on. Nearly there. But just in case it's not quite dry, I also have a little hairdryer plugged in, just to make sure that we don't run out of time to finish our bowl. Okay. So just spreading out these last little bits. Okay, painting done, the first bit. So let's just dry that off because it is still a little bit wet and we don't want it wet for this next stage. Right, so the next thing we're going to put on is the size that I've been talking about. So this is an acrylic size. I'm afraid old-fashioned sizes used to be made from rabbit skin. So this one is rabbit friendly. No rabbits were harmed in the making of this size. And all you do, it looks a little bit like PVA, so it's kind of white when you put it on and it goes clear once it's dry. It's a lot easier to apply than the paint because it's thinner. And we're just going to put this on top of our black gesso, our black paint. Spread it out, and again you want to make sure you've got really good coverage over all of your texture. But you don't have to use this just on wood, guys. The great thing with this stuff is you can use it on almost anything. So you can put it on leather if you are into making leather pieces of work or incorporating leather into your work. You can use it on paper, you can use it on pretty much anything. I have decorated a pair of trainers with this. So it is pretty flexible once it is dry. And because you are putting something over the top of it that's like a loose powder, then that will also move. It's not like putting a paint onto something and it cracking. So you can kind of use it in all of your crafts. Do we have any resin artists in front of us at all? I know that there's one. So Mark, who owns Local Art Shop, is here as a visitor today instead of working. He's got a day off, and Mark plays with these pigments a lot, does lots of resin work, and he's awesome. So check Mark out at Local Art Shop. And I can see he's brought my biggest, littlest fan, Richie. Hi. Okay, guys, so we've gone all the way around our piece. We've covered everything, all that black with the size. It does dry in about 15 minutes, and normally you want to leave it 15 minutes so it can do its job properly. We have not got 15 minutes. We have got like 10 minutes. So I'm just going to leave it for a couple of seconds, just until all these little bits of white have disappeared, and then we're going to put on the colours. Right, so we need to decide what colour, guys. Who likes purple and blues? Hands up. Purples and blues? Who likes pinks and golds? Purple and blues wins. That's my favourite colour too. So this colour is called Dragon. And I am not sure how close this camera is pointing, but this is what the chameleon flakes look like. Now, if you want to come up after this is finished and have a look at these properly, then you will be able to see it a lot better close up. So they're kind of like, they're just little flakes, and they've got a really awesome colour shift to them. So that is what we're putting on. So they are dry. There's nothing wet about those, and that's why we've put this glue on. This stage is going to be really sparkly by the time I'm done with this. And we need a fluffy brush. So this is a little eye makeup brush, nothing expensive, they're about a £5. And once this is dried, normally in 15 minutes, we're then going to apply these really funky colours. So you want to keep your pot nice and close to where you are working. Do not sneeze in that pot. You will have a cloud of glitter everywhere, and it will just stay in the air. We're just going to load up our brush with just the flakes, and we're going to brush them onto the surface of our size. And it should only stick where the size is. Sometimes if you've used an oil, for example, on the wood, it can stick to the surface of the oil a little bit. Okay, so let's get that loaded on. And you're better off applying these in a large amount, so over apply and then wipe off the excess. Don't under apply it, because that size is so sticky that if the flakes or the powders, depending on which you use, if they don't stick to it, everything else in the air will stick to it. So bits of fluff will stick to it, dust will stick to it, anything and everything. So we want really good coverage of our flakes. So I'm hoping the cameras don't always pick it up, so you're possibly better off looking straight at the piece on the lathe, and you should be able to see different colours around the edge, so you should be able to really see that sort of turquoisey green and blues and purples. And this colour has got one of the biggest colour shifts in it. So there's two colours, Dragon and Chimera, which have got a really, really vivid colour shift. Okay, so normally I would do this with a piece of cardboard down under the lathe so that you can just really easily work off all the excess. But again, for time, we are just going to wipe this off. So I've got a little bit of wax on that piece of paper. We're just going to wipe that around. Now, ash is quite a cool timber, so we've got a little bit of it that's kind of pushing into the grain. So we're going to have a slightly coloured grain as well. Let's just get that excess off. And then we've got one last thing to apply. So I mentioned right at the start when we were putting the paint on about those little grooves that we turned into the piece. So those were to help stop me from going outside the lines. but it means that they look a little bit on the messy side now. So we are going to use something to cover them up. Easiest way to hide it. We're going to use some fabric glue, and we're going to use some leather cord. It is just 2mm leather cord. You can get it from all over the place. And we're going to glue that in and finish off our piece. So this is just black leather cord. That's going to go around the edge. And the glue we're using is called Fabri-Tac. And we're just going to run in the glue into that little V-groove. Just do one at a time. So I'm starting at the headstock side of the lathe. Just running that all the way around. Nice thin bead. And then I'm going to cut this at an angle. And we're just going to roll this into place. And it pretty much grabs straight away, does this glue, more or less. It's pretty decent stuff. Cut the other side to match. It's a little bit too long. Looks better. Make sure that those joins line up. Okay, and then we'll do the other side as well. So just do them one at a time. It makes it much easier to work with. But this is the absolute last thing you want to do on this bowl. If you try and turn the lathe on and work with this again, with the leather on, it will let go and it'll start spinning round and hitting you in the head, which is not what ideal. That is not what we want. Just cut that at a better angle. The other one wasn't brilliant. Where's the join? Work that round. Cut that to match. And then if you've got any little bits, it's not quite glued just at that top bit on the other side, so I'll just reapply some glue. Just there. Just there. Yeah, so if you've got any little squeeze out, let it dry for a few minutes and then you can just go around with your fingernail and you can just wipe it off. If anything has got onto the surface, we've dulled a little bit around here because we haven't let it dry for 15 minutes, but we can always go over that again if we need to. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is our little bowl. So that is a chameleon bowl. So if you want to have a look at that, there we are.
Should we pass? Well, can we pass it around? Or
certainly, yeah.
If I give it, all I'll do is I'll grab it and I'll pass it.
There you go, Ollie.
Wow, that is fancy. Right,
30 minutes.
Go, guys. You want to pass that around? And then we'll make sure everyone can grab a hold. And if there's any questions as well, please put your hand up and Emma can answer them.
They're all experts, Ollie.
They seem that way. I think they're just so impressed by the bowl. They're like, I just want to get my hands on the bowl. And by the way, it was 15 minutes after you did all of the wood turning stuff before you started painting. So what's the quickest you have done?
Say again?
What's the quickest you've made? The
quickest I've made a bowl, if I haven't sanded it or put the chameleon stuff on, is 6 minutes.
6?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought 15 minutes was pretty special. I thought
6 minutes.
It's got to be a new world record.
No, it's not a world record. There's lots of people faster than me.
What's the hardest part of doing it all?
Probably hollowing out is where people struggle the most.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the bit you sort of save to the end.
Yeah, Yeah, get all that done. There's a couple of awkward bits when you're tooling it that can go
Yeah.
a bit wrong, but yeah, you get used to it. Yeah.
It's fun. I get why it's called a chameleon bowl now. That bit in
Yes,
the
chameleon
in the
band
middle.
of
And
colour.
what was the material
Yeah.
you used to section off? No, you put that. Was it a?
Oh, it was a little parting tool.
Oh, okay.
So just a really, really simple tool, just a straight edge tool that's been ground to a point, and I actually used the edge of the point to go at an angle. So that's what I used for that, and then the rest of it was just done with a ball gouge. So 2 tools. You don't need many tools for wood turning.
And you were saying when you're making something, is it better to have one that's already sharpened if you're under a bit of a tight time frame?
Yeah.
Because does it take time to sharpen?
It does if you use a jig, because you've
Yeah.
got to apply it, put it into the jig and do it. I freehand sharpen, which is quick, but still it takes you away from what you're doing, so it interrupts your flow. So if you can just pick up another tool, you're just in the zone still.
And what was the black strip of? Was that just plastic?
That was just
or was
it was leather, so it's
oh,
round leather cord.
Okay.
But you can use cotton cord if you don't want to use leather. You can use metal, like bits of copper, anything like that.
Where's
All
the
sorts of
pink and
stuff.
gold? Because I wanted pink and gold. Someone else asked for pink and gold.
Pink and
Where's
gold.
the pink and gold place? Let me have a
Pink
look.
and gold, there you
What's that
go.
look like?
Look at that one.
Have a look. Hold that under. Can we hold that under that camera? If you hold it closer to that thing, let's see if it comes up. So look.
Are we in? Am I in
Can
the
you cut
right
to the other
zone?
camera so we can? Oh, step away a bit. Oh, he's coming.
Where are we?
We've
There
got
we
him
go.
doing some work.
That helps.
Yes.
You find me.
Yeah, there
You
we go.
find me.
There we go. So that's the pink and gold one.
Pinks, greens, golds, blues.
Where are we at with the bowl? Has it gone in someone's bag? Oh, there we go. It's over there. I thought it was gone. Hey, I'd do the same. All right. When I saw it, I was like, ooh. It looks really cool. It's so impressive that it didn't take you long at all to make it. And this one was purple and, did you say purple and blue?
Purples, blues, purples, greens, and blues. That
I'm
one.
seeing
Yeah.
a lot of green. I'm seeing a lot of green in that.
Yeah.
But it's really smooth.
Yeah. Yeah. It don't come off. Once it's on, it's
But
on.
even the way you've sanded the wood, how quick you've done it, and it just seems so complete.
Nice and fast.
That'll take me at least 24 hours just to set the lathe up. Yeah. But that's really cool, and that's leather, so it's got like a little leather strip. There you go. So make sure you feel it, touch every part of it.
Yeah. Wood's amazing to work
You got
with.
a question? Yes.
How do you know the gauge? Like how thick to do it when you like? Is it just over time that you learn how to the depth of the thickness
Yeah,
of the
it's
thing?
just muscle memory for me is that. But you just keep stopping it and checking it. Your fingers are great for depth checking and feeling the thickness of it. So yeah, you just get used to doing. Oh, hang on.
Sorry, have you gone through the sides before or the?
I've never
bottom
gone
when you
through
were
the
learning?
sides. I went through the bottom for the first time about a year ago, live on YouTube.
Got the views
Best
though.
way to do it. Best way to do it in front of however many people were there.
'Cause at
I was
least you
like,
get-
oh,
You get paid
funnel
then.
club. Hey,
You get paid then. You get,
It's all good.
If you make a mistake, you got another one. Oh, I like this.
Sorry, what do you find as the best wood to use? Like as a beginner to then. Like,
I would use ash.
Ash to start
Ash,
with.
sycamore. A lot of people start with sycamore because it's nice to cut, but it really easily tears out, and you get little areas of damage, and it's hard to sand. So it takes a long time to get rid of those, and it can be very frustrating, and you feel like you're not getting anywhere with your tooling. Ash is more forgiving, and it sands better. So a nice clean piece of ash you can do all sorts with. Yeah, really nice wood.
And what's the hardest? Like, what have you found the hardest wood to use?
The hardest material, I've been given a piece of wood from Australia called gidgee, and it's like turning concrete. Literally like turning concrete. Yeah. You got to turn a bit, sharpen, turn a bit,
You've
sharpen.
got-
Yeah.
Questions? Hey, there we go.
Just a question about the texture.
Yep.
You did it one way. You said you were going to do it the other way, but how would you?
No,
line up?
I sacked that idea off because ash has got quite a strong grain, and you can damage it easily. So I've gone one way with it, which has pushed the fibres over one way. For me to go back the other way and cross-hatch it, all you do is turn the tool over and go in the opposite direction. But ash can't always handle that. So if it had been sycamore, I'd probably have done it. But with ash, I made the call not to and just left it going one way.
And to get the angle, is it the speed you go across? Or?
you've got to sort of the tool will kind of tell you how fast it needs to go. So you have a fairly low speed, about 600-700 RPM. Apply the tool and it'll start to pull. And you need to just, whatever speed that you start with, if you want an even texture, you just continue that cut at the same pace, and it sort of matches itself to the speed of the lathe. If it was going faster, it'd pull it across quicker, but you won't get as strong a texture doing it quicker. Yeah, no worries.
Very good. Any other questions? Was that a good question?
That was a good. They've all been great questions. Yeah.
I thought it was a good question too. I think it's such a good question. It deserves a prize.
It deserves a prize.
Let's find out. Let's find out what your name is first, because I didn't ask your name. What's your name, sir?
Paul.
Paul. Okay, Paul. Oh, I got a bit of volume there. Paul, I'm going to give you a prize from Black & Decker, because Black & Decker have given us, or they've donated us, some products for Maker Central 2026. Woo! And every now and again when we get a good question, and it makes us think, and you think, that was a good one. And Paul, you've come here today, you come to the stage, you're positive. There you go. Give him a round of applause, everyone. Paul, good questions. I may have one more to give away later throughout this stage, so we'll see if we get any more good questions. Are there any more for Emma at the moment? You got the bowl back?
It's just at the end.
And also, what number is your stool? Because you've got a stooler as well.
D49.
D49, so Emma's
D49.
here.
If you want to have a go at airbrushing, we're doing some hands-on airbrushing. And I've got the colours available, and just come and have a chat.
And what about bowls like this? Can we buy bowls like this off you?
No, I haven't got any bowls. I don't tend to sell work.
Really?
You just make your own, guys. That's what Maker Central's all about, isn't it?
Well, this one's going to be worth a lot of money then, because this is one of a kind. What would you sell something like this for, Emma?
I don't sell.
Oh.
I don't sell. No, not really.
This is so cool. I love that. So what would you, this type of bowl here, what is it for? Is it for a food bowl?
Yeah, you could put, I mean, I have used a product on there that is food safe, so you could put products in there, you could put nuts and sweets and crisps in there, just a display bowl, a bowl for chucking your keys in at the end of the day.
That's amazing. It does not look like they were flakes.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Isn't
proper
it?
smooths them out. Yeah. Really cool stuff.
You can feel it. It's like a little bit like bristly.
Yeah, a little bit.
I just can't get over that. I think that looks so good in the light. It's also, actually, it's a little bit of pink. I know you said purple.
Oh, yeah, there's all sorts of colours in them.
And
depending on the colour of the lights, it changes.
You've done it on your eyeshadow as well. Well, you know. Come on, all right. That's fantastic. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so are there any more questions for Emma before we let her get back to the stool? If you want to see her.
We better clean up, Ollie.
We better clean up. Yeah, our next one. We have got someone coming back. It's like hour, every hour. We got someone here today. I'm here as well. We can have a chat, find out where you're from. I always like making new friends. I'm Oliver, but this has been the Tiny Turner.
Yay.
Emma Cook, everyone. Give it up for Emma.
Ollie.
Woo!
Yay!
That's it. Fantastic. And what a beautiful bowl. Emma, thank you so much.
Cheers, Ollie.